Dry chicken has hurt way too many people, so today we're fighting back. We're cooking our bird flat for even doneness, loading it up with lemon, garlic, honey butter, and roasting it over a bed of veggies that basically get baptized in flavor. And to make sure this thing comes out with maximum juiciness, we're nailing our doneness with the ThermoPro Lightning Food Thermometer. I'm partnering up with them today, and if you love perfect chicken, you're gonna wanna get your hands on one of these. As always, we have to get our prep done, so we're gonna start out with our compound butter. All right, so to a bowl, I've just got 8 tablespoons of softened butter. I just had this at room temperature for about an hour and a half. And to this, we're gonna do 2 cloves, 2 very large cloves of garlic I've got here. So apply a little bit of pressure just to crack the peel so I can get it out. And we're just gonna grate our garlic right into our bowl. And they say the more you agitate garlic, the stronger the flavor gets. So that's why I'm opting for this versus running it through my garlic press like I normally do. We're gonna work in a tablespoon of dry vermouth. This is our pour choice for today because it's gonna add a lot of floral notes as well as a lot of herby notes like your thyme, your corianders and whatnot. It's gonna be really, really great. However, if you don't want to have booze in this recipe, maybe you don't wanna have booze in the house altogether, you can absolutely use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice or 1 tablespoon of chicken broth, but I highly recommend giving this vermouth a try. All right, so we're gonna go with a tablespoon of this. We're gonna go with a tablespoon of honey. Eyeballing that, looks like a tablespoon to me. We're gonna need about 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon zest. And of course, depending on the size of your lemon, this could vary, but I'd say this took about half of a lemon. And about a teaspoon of kosher salt. Of course, I'm using unsalted butter because I wanna be in control of my salt level. We're just gonna mash all this together. And that is our butter right there. We don't need to pop this back in the fridge because we want to keep this nice and soft so we can spread it underneath the skin of our chicken. For our vegetables, I've got just over a pound, some potatoes. These are baby potatoes, and this is the medley kind, so they come in all sorts of different colors. And all of these are roughly kind of in the same size as you can see here, so that's great. But there are a few that are on the larger side, like this one here. So if we find ourselves in that situation, we just want to give it good cutting in half, just to keep everything as close together in size as possible. This is gonna ensure that everything cooks evenly. So, and you can mix up your vegetables. You can put Brussels sprouts in here. You could put onion wedges in here. It's really totally up to you. I'm cooking a lot of these recipes back to back to back, so I just happen to have a lot of carrots and other things in hand. I'm also gonna peel these because we're roasting at a higher temperature today. We're going at about 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So at those temperatures, the skin of a carrot can sometimes get a little bitter, can get pretty wrinkly. And since this is one of the main feature sides, I kind of want to keep our carrots looking nice and bright orange. And then also what I'm going to do here, cut these on a bias at an angle. I want to get some more surface area on them. And I'm going to cut these a little bit thicker. We're going to hit this with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, about half a teaspoon of kosher salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, freshly cracked if you can. And then optionally, a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of our spice today. We're using the Spiceology pink peppercorn lemon thyme all-purpose rub. It is delicious. I used it recently on the spicy lemon pepper wings for the holidays. Definitely go check that one out. Or if you don't feel like going on Amazon and you just want to grab something locally at your store, I have seen this Kinder's lemon butter garlic seasoning at pretty much every grocery store I've been to up and down the West Coast and the East Coast. For those of you across the pond, I'm not sure, but this is an easy one to track down. Ultimately, you just want something with some lemon pepper base to it and some savory notes as well. Again, I like this one just because it's kind of on the coarse side. Half a teaspoon and a teaspoon. And we just want to give this a nice tossing to that seasoning, that olive oil, everything gets nice and coated. And I just want to go ahead and just place my vegetables in here. Oh, that's perfect. I want them pretty much to completely cover the bottoms. These are our aromatics. What they're going to do is they're going to start releasing scents and oils and all sorts of great things that are scientifically probably not the way that I'm explaining them. But it's going to flavor our food. It's going to flavor our vegetables and our chicken because everything's going to start kind of working together. So I've got a couple sprigs of thyme in there. Coming back with some rosemary. Rosemary we want to be a little bit more intentional with because rosemary can be pretty overpowering. So I'm only going to go with about 3 to 4 sprigs here. Optionally, we can also throw in some oregano. This is fresh oregano. And then we're also going to take that lemon that we zested. We're just going to cut it into some slices and place it somewhat strategically in here. Boom. All right, we've got this assembled. Now let's move this to the side because we want to get started on our bird. For our bird, I have got just over a 4.5 pound bird here. I've taken all the little extra giblets and whatever was inside. We're going to do a little bit of work on it just before we spatchcock it. Stuff like this, these huge globbles of fat. We just want to go ahead and just take those off. And we're just taking it off because really it's just fat that's just not going to fully render down. Like we want some of the fat that's underneath this chicken skin, but we don't want thick stuff like that. So let's place our bird on its stomach. We're gonna find our little neck bone right there. So just taking a good pair of kitchen shears, and I'm gonna go right down the side of this neck bone, and you'll feel it. It's pretty easy, and the kitchen shears make very short work of it. And I guess I should emphasize kitchen shears. If you try to do this with regular, cut and coupon scissors, I don't think you're gonna have much success. And for those of you who are really into homemade stuff, this is great for making a chicken stock. All right, if there's anything inside that we want to clean up, now is the perfect time to do it. All right, our chicken is spatchcocked. Now we want to turn it back over, and we just want to give it a quick little, right in that chest. You heard that crack? That's what we want. So the bird can really, there we go, really lay flat. Now, one other thing that we want to do, we want to lift that skin off that breast, because this is where we're going to put that butter that we made. Then one last thing, if you're able to, take our chicken thighs, right? Just gonna kind of get underneath that skin. And then once you get that initial thing broken, what you can do is you could pop that thigh almost completely out. So when we're rubbing our butter on, we can do that, pop it back in, right? We're gonna do the same thing for this side. We're gonna take our butter mixture, and we're gonna slather that baby inside. On the sides, over the top. Coming back, hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Now this is more so for our rub to stick. Not going crazy, but I want to at least be able to see that it's seasoned. Any little crevices on the side. Just good coverage. It doesn't need to be covered like it's a brisket. And even if we can get a little bit of that seasoning right in there. And now we just want to get our chicken in here. That's why I'm emphasizing no more than 5 pounds for the bird, because it should perfectly fit like it is right here. Into our 12-inch cast iron skillet. If you don't have a 12-inch cast iron skillet, you could absolutely use a roasting pan or like a 13x9 baking dish. This just looks cool. It's gonna look great for the thumbnail and whatnot, but also it's gonna hold everything in. It's gonna retain heat pretty well. Another important note, skin side up, breast up, laying on its back. Before I even started, I went ahead and preheated my oven to 425 degrees. This 425 is gonna help crisp up the skin. It's gonna get the vegetables nice and tender on the inside while crispy on the outside. Overall, just a better eating experience. Also, I've got the rack set up on the center rack, not at the top, not at the bottom, right in the middle. So in our chicken goes, and we're gonna let it roast. I'm gonna say about 40 minutes. Really, it's gonna take like an hour, but around 40 minutes is when I wanna start probing it to check for its doneness. When it comes to a whole roasted chicken, we wanna check our chicken breast to be done at 165 and our dark meat, like our thigh, to be done at 175. However, we can take our chicken out at 160, it'll carry over the other 5 degrees, and we can keep a juicy chicken. Versus the thighs, if they go over 175, I mean, they can get up to 190 and they'll still stay juicy and flavorful. So we're really just focused on the breasts. And real quick, I know I mentioned this at the top of the show, but we are using this ThermoPro Lightning Instant Read Food Thermometer. These are clutch. I use these all the time whenever I'm cooking, especially for other people. It gives me nice, consistent results every single time. Also, food safety, I can make sure that I'm not undercooking things for people. All right, it has been 45 minutes, and I did peek halfway through at the chicken just to make sure it wasn't browning too fast, and it was. So I loosely covered it up with some foil just to kind of stop it. And that's the key word, loosely. If you go super, super tight, you're just gonna end up steaming your chicken and losing all that crispiness we worked for. So 45 minutes, I just wanna check the thickest part of our breast and see where we're at. So 130, 129 on this side. So yeah, we're gonna go another 10 minutes. But the main thing now is protecting our chicken. I don't want this to get any darker, but I do want the rest of this to brown. So back in the oven until the 425 is gonna go. Another 10 minutes. And just a quick note, oven times may vary. Not all ovens are created evenly. Even though we set it to 425, it may actually be running at 405. Or it could be running hotter like 435. That's why it's good to have a thermometer in your oven, but if you don't, that ThermoPro is gonna be our savior. All right, it has been about an hour and 5 minutes. Again, your cooking times may vary. Let's just check the temperature of our breasts. Look at that, we're coming in right at 160. And this is gonna carry over another 5 degrees. That's great. Let's just see what our chicken thighs are. I know those were probably hotter. Coming in at 180. So I'm very satisfied with this. Ideally, I would have covered this a little bit earlier just so these parts didn't get dark, but it doesn't matter. Like, this is not burnt, it's just nice and crispy. It's gonna be fine. It's from that butter and that olive oil on here. What I wanna do right now is I wanna let this chicken rest. I do not wanna cut right into it. I wanna give it at least 15 minutes or a glass of wine worth of time, just to let the juices and everything settle. If we cut into it right now, all those juices are just gonna go spilling everywhere. We're gonna lose everything that we worked for. Get this chicken out. I'm gonna put it on my cutting board. And as far as our vegetables goes, I wanna get rid of all the leftover lemon and herbs, whatnot. Those are already spent, they've done their thing. And then I'm gonna give these a tossing in the chicken drippings and just check them for flavor. Do they need some more salt? Do they need to go back in the oven for a little bit longer? All right, our chicken has rested for 15 minutes, and you can just see all the juices that are just naturally coming out of the chicken. Now imagine how we cut into that earlier. For our chicken, we're just gonna carve it up into some pieces. So I'm gonna start with this thigh first. I'm just gonna take the tip of my knife because I have a little bit more control, and we're just gonna cut through here, and eventually we're gonna run into a joint. So there's a chicken thigh, or it'll just pull off like that. I'm not mad at either. Sometimes the wings just come off on their own. You don't even need to do anything. Like you can just kind of pop that joint and boom, off that comes. For the chicken breast, you can either just go straight down the middle. If you want, you can cut it again into another piece. Always gonna go for the wing first. Oh yeah. Think about it. We didn't brine this, we didn't inject this. Just pure technique. Simplicity always prevails. Let's plate this up. Let's make something cool with this. I'm picking this plate just because I just like these ridges. No other real reason. So we'll take a slotted spoon, just because I don't want to get too many juices in yet. And we're gonna lay down maybe all our vegetables. We'll see. I kind of want this plate to feel full. This is where I wish I had something like some wild rice to go with it. So let's start there, right? I'm gonna put this leg here. This is me styling really for a thumbnail, because this right here says I've been roasted. I'm gonna take this chicken breast here. You kind of get 2 pieces of chicken. And then maybe put a wing on here. So I wanna maybe close up some of these gaps. So we'll position a chicken wing like that. As long as everything looks identifiable as a piece of chicken, I'm happy with it. I wanna take some of our chicken drippings. Remember, this is like all this buttery goodness. I just wanna hit some of the vegetables that look like they may have like dried up just a little bit. And then I definitely wanna hit this skin. One last little thing I'm gonna attempt to do, just cleaning up. I know I could just remove all this stuff in Photoshop, but believe it or not, I don't actually like doing any of the AI things. Not that I'm opposed to it, it's just, this is the part of the art that I enjoy the most. I kind of don't want to take that away from me. So I've just got some parsley here. This is just for pops of color. I don't need a lot of it. Hence why I'm not taking a bunch out and chopping it up. There you have it, my friends, a whole roasted chicken. Lemony, buttery, garlicky. Most importantly, it's juicy. Shout out to ThermoPro for sending me their lightning food thermometer. I'm actually gonna be using this a lot in recipes because I was already using a food thermometer and it was time for me to get a new one. So this came in right in the nick of time. And again, if you wanna know consistent juiciness every single time, whether it's chicken, prime rib, whether it's steak, this is going to come in clutch. I even travel with this when I'm going places and I know I'm gonna cook. So again, thank you ThermoPro so much for this. For Choices Kitchen, hey everybody, we have a Patreon link down in the description. $1 a month is all we ask for to pay for recipes in these here inflated times. And we also have YouTube memberships. I believe those are $2.99. Those do the exact same thing, help us pay for recipes in these here inflated times. And shout out to everybody who's been signing back up, who's been engaging in the comments. I'm sorry I missed the comments in the last video. I'm gonna come back and circle around and answer some of your questions and just engage back with you guys. Because it's really cool that you all are showing out and I wanna show out for you as well. So until next time, enjoy this recipe. One last thing, I mention this all the time, I'm watching my salt, okay? So if you're eating the vegetables and you feel like it's missing something, salt. If you're eating the chicken and you feel like it's missing a little bit of something, salt. I'm telling you, that's the secret weapon to making all of your food restaurant quality, salt and butter. So give it a try and let me know how it came out. And until next time, peace.